Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm sharing our full homeschool curriculum for 9th grade. And yes, it feels surreal to say I have a high schooler now. If you're planning for your own 9th grader and feeling a little overwhelmed, this one's for you. Let me show you what we chose and why after a lot of careful consideration. For those who don't know me, I'm Laura from monkeyamount.com. I've been homeschooling my gifted, twice exceptional only child for the past 10 years. On my blog, I share curriculum reviews, create resources, and probably most importantly, encourage other homeschool moms to make choices that actually work for their families, not just what looks perfect on paper. So, quick background on us. Marc is strong in STEM and has always loved the exact sciences like math, chemistry, programming. Our 9th grade curriculum choices reflect that. We're also planning for university, most likely in computer science in Europe. That means our focus is on building a well-rounded, accredited high school transcript, aiming for a solid SAT score and stacking that with AP courses and beyond in certain subjects to showcase clear progression and interest in STEM. As a side note, European universities don't usually look at extracurriculars the same way the US ones do, so you won't hear me talk about those much here. I'll also have a separate video coming up on Marc's programming journey and future plans where I'll go into more detail about that. If you want me to do a video on European universities in general, please let me know in the comments. If you're looking into getting your high schoolers ready for university path later on, or if you have an asynchronous gifted kid like Marc, I hope our curriculum picks will give you ideas. And if you're on a more regular track, most of these publishers also offer standard versions. All of them are solid, vetted not only by me, but by other veteran homeschoolers as well. And one more thing, I postponed recording this until I was absolutely sure this was our final list of choices. I also tried my best to point out some alternatives I know are genuinely good and worth recommending, but if you're still unsure or you have particular needs, please leave a comment or reach out to me. I'll do my best to help. And if you'd like to see a roundup of my favorite curricula across the years, I've put them all in one place on my website. I'll link that page down below so you can find it easily. Nothing here is sponsored. These are programs I stand by and would choose again and again. And if you'd like me to review any of these in depth, let me know in the comments. I'll make sure to prioritize it. And since this video might end up pretty long, and I know some of you don't always have time to watch the whole thing, here's a quick list of our 9th grade curriculum choices this year. For math, we'll be using Mr. D Math Pre-Calculus Honors. For English, AIM Academy Literature and Composition 8-9. For science, Clover Valley Advanced Honors Chemistry. For social studies, Runkle's World Geography. For electives, we'll be using AP Computer Science A with AP Homeschoolers. For foreign language, we'll be using German 2 with CLRC, and for extras, we'll be doing light SAT prep with IXL and Khan Academy. That's the bird's eye view. Now let me break down why we chose each one, how it's working so far, and a few things I wish I'd known before signing up. And there's a full blog post about this too. If you want to take your time reading and studying each and seeing more photos, I'll link it below. So let's get to it. So for math, Marc will be doing pre-calculus honors with Mr. D Math this year in 9th grade. I won't go in depth here because I already have several videos and blog posts reviewing Mr. D. I'll link those in the description for you. What I can say is this: even though the program looks light, it covers all the essential high school math in a way that's self-paced, engaging, and surprisingly fun. Marc loves Mr. D's humor and his to-the-point video lessons. And honestly, the fact that there isn't a ton of extra busy work has been a huge win for Marc, because once he really understands a concept, he doesn't need endless repetition, it just sticks. Now, if you're looking for something in the same style but with more practice built in, definitely check out Think Well. We tried it for a year and I liked how many practice opportunities there were. But Marc preferred to stick with Mr. D, so that's what we'll use all the way through calculus. After that, we'll have to figure out higher levels for math for him after AP Calculus BC. So if you have suggestions for post-AP Calculus, calculus, math options? Leave me a comment. Looking back, I think Math in Focus, our Singapore-based math choice for elementary and part of middle school, gave him such a strong foundation that he could really build on with Mr. D. And if you're wondering whether Mr. D is enough, I've had that worry too. That's why I'll be testing his retention later this year with some SAT prep. If you want me to share how that goes, let me know and I'll do a follow-up. The only thing I don't love about Mr. D is that the honors track mostly adds writing assignments. Personally, I'd rather see those challenges be more math focused, but overall we're very happy with the program, and for Marc, it's been a great fit. For English this year, Marc is doing AIM Academy's Literature and Composition 8-9 with Mrs. Cook. And honestly, so far I only have good things to say. We're on the week 3 and it's been a really positive experience. Now let me pause here and say this. We will definitely go back to IEW. That program shaped Marc's writing so much that even though he hates writing, Mrs. Cook actually invited him to submit his very first assignment to AIM Academy's AIM High newsletter. He refused, of course, since writing is torture for him. But just the fact that a seasoned English teacher gave him 100% on that first assignment made me stop and smile. That's IEW at work. That's me patting myself on the back for choosing it years ago. I've already reviewed a lot of IEW's programs on my blog with more reviews coming soon, so I'll link those in the description. And let me just say, IEW is my top 3 homeschool curricula choice for all time. It works. Yes, it feels repetitive and restrictive sometimes, especially at the higher levels, but that's the point. If you want university-ready kids who can walk into any class in any major and confidently write whatever's thrown at them, IW is the way. It's Andrew Pudewa's magic. But back to AIM Academy. Why did we choose this? Honestly, because I was stuck. I couldn't find a solid self-paced or textbook-based literature course that went beyond comprehension questions. Most of the ones I looked at were either fluffy or intimidatingly huge, like those 1,000-page public school textbooks. And dragging Marc through that when he already dislikes English just wasn't working. AIM is the sweet spot for us this year. The texts for 8-9 feel a little heavy to me, but maybe that's just because I've sheltered Marc from darker themes until now. His reading list for the year includes The Pearl, The Odyssey, The Time Machine, Romeo and Juliet, and The Scarlet Pimpernel, along with shorter stories, poetry, and even movies for comparison. I love that variety. And then there's the literary analysis, the part I dreaded the most, but Mrs. Cook uses a growth mindset approach and Socratic discussions where nothing a student says is wrong as long as they can back it up with the text. She also encourages annotation and note-taking, 2 of Marc's nemesis, and while he still resists, her approach makes it less painful. It lines up perfectly with the growth mindset strategies I've been using since he was 6. The class requires annotation, note-taking, and vocabulary work every week, and while Marc doesn't love it, I actually do. Annotation forces him to slow down, read carefully, and really make connections instead of just skimming. Note-taking builds accountability and organization, skills he'll need across all his high school courses, and the vocabulary notebook that's pure gold for future SAT prep. Plus, he discovered that Quizlet has games, so we've been using that a lot across subjects. It makes vocab review way less painful. The classes themselves are interactive and fast-paced, but Mrs. Cook adjusts based on the student's level, so it stays flexible. I like that writing work is spaced out every couple of weeks instead of being constant. It feels manageable while still building his skills. If you'd like me to review AIM Academy in more depth once we've gotten through a few months, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to. For science this year, Marc is taking Clover Valley Advanced Honors Chemistry with Mrs. Schwartz. We did her parent-graded honors chemistry last year, and it was honestly one of the best science experiences we've had in our homeschool for high school. So this year, we leveled up. Before that, Marc did Science Mom's Physics, and I absolutely loved it. If you're looking for a solid middle school or lighter high school science course, I recommend her without hesitation. She has more courses to choose from. And if your student wants to go deep into science but without the heavy math, definitely check out Conceptual Academy. Their courses are conceptually based, thorough, and a great option for kids who thrive on understanding the why behind the science rather than grinding through calculations. And because a lot of you asked me, Marc's chemistry journey actually started way back when he was 7 years old. It's kind of a funny story. He was obsessed with measurements, always asking me what's smaller than a centimeter, then a millimeter, then a picometer. Eventually, I landed on atom, and of course, the next question was what's smaller than an atom? At that point, I had to admit I didn't know, but he kept coming back to it until I finally Googled and started reading real explanations out loud to him right there in the kitchen. That's how his obsession with chemistry started, through curiosity, not a textbook. And the first official curriculum we used for chemistry was Pandia Press, and I still highly recommend it. Their elementary series for science is perfect for gifted and curious kids. It presents serious science topics in a way that's accessible but not dumbed down. Later we had to slow down because his math wasn't strong enough yet for real chemistry problems. But now, seeing him dive headfirst into advanced topics and tackle challenging problems feels like he's exactly where his curiosity always wanted him to be. And now quickly, let me give you a feel for Clover Valley's structure. This isn't a light course. It's very much a pre-AP chemistry class. Each unit comes with clear, concise video lectures, guided assignments, tests, and labs. Students submit their work and Mrs. Schwartz sends back quick and detailed feedback by email. One thing I love is the 2-week module window. Each module covers 2 chapters and Marc's been flying through them in about a week, but having that built-in flexibility is reassuring. Clover Valley recommends 10 to 12 hours a week, and I'd say that's accurate depending on math and science background. Marc is able to fly through them because he already knows most of the material presented after so many years of curiosity-led chemistry. And one of the best parts, Mrs. Schwartz requires students to show their work. I've tried to get Marc to do this for years with very little success, but for her, he does it. His submissions are neat, step by step, and way more thorough than what he used to hand me. That accountability outside of mom has been huge. The labs have been both exciting and challenging. Getting a ready-made kit shipped to Europe is nearly impossible, so we built our own DIY kit, and I love that Mrs. Schwartz understood that and she helped us organize it. And here's where we got lucky. We had male chemistry kits for years, and several of the required substances were already sitting in those boxes, and that saved us a ton of hassle. And yes, this is all leading up to AP Chemistry next year in 10th grade. Clover Valley is giving him the foundation, the practice, and accountability to step into AP ready. I know AP Chem is one of the toughest AP exams out there, but with this plan in place, I really do believe a 5 is possible. For social studies this year, Marc is doing Runkle's World Geography by Brenda Runkle. This wasn't our original plan. I actually enrolled him in FundaFunda World Geography back in April. On paper, it looked perfect. There were no textbooks, no tests, lots of videos, websites, and creative projects, and I thought this is what we need. But after just 1 week, I had to admit it wasn't going to work for us. Marc was spending 2 to 3 hours a day just to get through the videos, answer all the questions, and chase down the links. With AP prep and SAT practice already on his plate, it was simply too much. And here's the thing, sometimes a curriculum just doesn't fit, and that's okay. What matters most as a homeschool parent is having the capacity to admit when something's not working and then pivot in the right direction for your child. So once we realized the geography wasn't working, we switched to Runkle's World Geography, and it's been exactly what we needed. The textbook is just over 200 pages, colorful and very engaging. We're using the full set student book, teacher's manual, and activity book, having everything in one place like the lessons, questions, projects, and tests with no extra links and videos and 100 places to be. This gives us a clear path without overwhelm. That said, you don't necessarily need the activity book unless you want to dig deeper. The student and teacher books alone cover the essentials for high school credit. So we've slotted geography on Fridays only when the rest of the week's assignments are usually finished. That rhythm has been working really really well, Marc can focus without pressure, and by the end of the year he'll have a solid world geography credit. What I especially like is that this is written at a true high school level. So many geography resources either blur into world history or feel designed for middle school. Runkles stands on its own, and for us it's the right mix of compact, structured and flexible. So far we absolutely love the BookShark, and I still love it and recommend it. We use them all through middle school, and I think they were perfect for that stage. I even reviewed them, so I'll leave links in the description. But here's the thing, for high school, no matter how much I love reading with Marc, balancing my working homeschool mom schedule with his increasing high school workload just wouldn't leave us enough time to really enjoy BookShark the way it's meant to be done. Because yes, it does take dedication, and since BookShark is mostly history with geography woven in, I also wanted us to do a dedicated year of world geography instead. That's why we hit pause with BookShark. And I can absolutely see us going back to it or choosing Nomadic Professor, which we also love. It's rigorous, incredibly well put together, and the amount of academic skills and thinking skills it builds is just phenomenal. Honestly, this is one of those situations where I wish I could stretch our time, because I truly enjoy both of these programs and warmly recommend checking them out. I've already reviewed Nomadic Professor too, and if you have a humanities-oriented teen, let me just say this is hands down the best history curriculum for preparing them for pre-AP or CLEP exams. And not just for history, it builds thinking and writing skills that spill over into every subject. Pair Nomadic Professor with IW and your kids will be ready to ace any humanities exam. For his elective this year, Marc is taking AP Computer Science A with AP Homeschoolers taught by Mrs. Rebecca Collip. Last year, he self-studied AP Computer Science Principles and scored a 4, which honestly blew me away considering how much he managed on his own. But here's the thing, if you want the course itself to show up as AP on your student's high school transcript, you have to take it through a College Board approved provider. That's why we went with AP Homeschoolers this time. This class is known for being rigorous but supportive. My homeschool friends have had great success with AP Homeschoolers. The reviews of Mrs. Collip all mentioned detailed feedback, clear assignments, and a real passion for teaching Java, which is exactly the kind of teacher you want for a tough AP class. We haven't fully started it, so I can't say a lot about it, but we've already had the kickoff assignment, the classic rubber duck debugging challenge. Students had to pick a rubber duck to use as their coding buddy and post a picture of it. Bonus points if the duck looked like it had a strong CS degree. Marc decided to 3D print his using the Bamboo Lab A1 Mini AMS he got for his birthday this year. He chose the black duck from Kurzgesagt, his all-time favorite YouTube channel, and the result was perfect. Honestly, it was the most Marc way possible to start a course, combining coding humor with STEM tinkering. And as a side note for parents, if you're looking for a meaningful STEM gift for a teen, a 3D printer is worth considering. Yes, it's an investment, but the skills it teaches, patience, problem solving, design thinking, resilience are priceless. I am super happy with our choice, and Marc's been learning to troubleshoot prints, design his own models, and more importantly, to fail and try again. I know I keep droning about this, but that growth mindset piece is huge, and it ties in beautifully with his coding work. If you'd like me to make a dedicated video on why we chose the Bamboo Lab over cheaper models, let me know in the comments. Now back to why this course. Marc's goal is STEM, so having AP Computer Science A on his transcript makes sense. It's also known as one of the harder APs because students have to master college intro level Java programming. But with AP Homeschooler structure and support, I'm confident he'll get the prep he needs, not only for the exam but also for the kind of coding resilience he'll need in university. On top of that, he's chosen to host his class projects on GitHub. I love this decision because GitHub is something he'll keep using later in his professional life, and starting now means he's building a personal coding portfolio. And honestly, I regret not knowing about GitHub earlier, so if your kids are already coding, I'd encourage you to set them up with an account as soon as they are old enough. I'll be back with a dedicated programming journey video because unlike chemistry, our coding path hasn't been perfectly clear, but I do want to share what's worked and what hasn't. For now, Marc is supplementing with Code HS Java, which he worked on all summer to get ready for AP CSA. And for younger kids, I highly recommend Code Monkey. Code Monkey is one of my newest discoveries and I've already reviewed it. It's game-based but teaches real line coding from as early as age 5, and it's an incredible introduction to the world of programming, so go check it out. For foreign language, Marc is continuing with German 2 through CLRC Classical Learning Resource Center, taught by Frau Toledo. He had her last year for German 1 and it was such a great fit that re-enrolling was an easy choice. Marc actually started dabbling in German when he was about 6 years old because he liked how it sounded. But since I don't know the language myself, the process was slow and honestly pretty tedious. Technically, it's actually his third language, which makes me smile because I didn't expect him to stick with it this long. So I've been genuinely surprised at how well he's doing in this class and how much he's retaining. Before CLRC, his background was mostly vocabulary and short phrases from Rosetta Stone. And for the record, I still recommend Rosetta Stone for complete beginners. It gave him a great starting point. But CLRC took him so much further, and the difference after just 1 year was huge. Even after summer break, he remembered a lot, and that tells me the class really sticks. Here's what I love about CLRC German. The classes are live, small group sessions, so it's interactive without being intimidating. They meet twice a week. Frau Toledo provides all the materials directly, so they have no massive textbook to manage, and the environment is relaxed but thorough. Marc is learning steadily without being crushed by busy work. CLRC is already a well-known provider for online languages, and our experience absolutely confirms why. As for our plans, Marc will continue with German 3 and German 4 through CLRC, and then in his last year of high school we may aim for a Goethe Institute language exam. I just think it would be a nice way to show continuity since he started German 1 back in 8th grade. So I know this has been a pretty long video, but I really wanted to give you not just a list of what we're using, but also the reasoning behind each choice, what stood behind it, and what stands ahead of us. So if you take anything from this video, let it be this: there's no one-size-fits-all path. Our 9th grade curriculum choices are heavy on STEM and AP Prep because that's Marc's path. Yours might look totally different, and that's okay. The win is building a year that works for your family, not chasing perfection. So thanks for sticking with me through this breakdown. I hope it gave you ideas, reassurance, inspiration, and maybe even a little confidence that you can homeschool high school. I hope this video has been useful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next homeschool resource review. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.